Hi everyone. So it's nice to see everybody. Happy Friday. Yes. So obviously wearing my Raiders girl shirt. I'm gonna tag the person who gave me this shirt. It was beautiful. It's a crop top. Either way, always a Raiders fan, no matter how good or bad. So let's get to it. I obviously going into this season had not the highest expectations after the previous season, even though 2 years ago we were, playoff team, especially losing everything that could possibly go wrong 2 years ago and still making playoffs gave me hope as a player, as a team, like not team, as a fan, because, clearly I know that our offense is good. I knew that we had talent. We had everything in play for our offense. And, I had multiple people tell me before on Twitter or whatever the case be that we don't need the best defense to be a good team. The Chiefs have not had really excellent top 10, defenses, and every year they make it to playoffs. So tell me how this year we're not doing what I'm expecting, obviously, offensively. Defensively, there's a lot of holes, and I don't expect this defense to do anything exciting. I think they're doing just enough and to give us at least a chance offensively to put the points up. However, we're not seeing that. We're seeing a lot of struggling, and it's just frustrating because last season I think we were better off offensively, and then this season we've even like regressed, which is kind of crazy to me because you add all these players that fit the scheme of our coach, and it's still showing that we're not doing well. So what's going on? What is the reason? And unfortunately, it's kind of has to point onto the coach. I already knew there are certain games I knew going into the season that I was like, okay, might be tough matchup, easy matchup, not easy. I don't want to say any given Sunday anybody we can win. However, I knew that the Broncos were someone I was like, for game one, I'm like, we should blow them out. Like I seen the preseasons with the Broncos, and they look absolute garbage offensively. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna freaking blow them the fuck out. And then we barely beat them. We barely fucking beat them. And I'm like, this is gonna be the rest of my season. And I'm like, maybe this is just a fluke because all of our team hasn't played together. And I was like, maybe it's just today, this game, because I'm like, I was expecting like 30 points, whatever minimum. I mean, and that's insane for me to have that expectation, but we did pretty good for the last few times that we've met them, and we put up points. So our offense has gotten better, so it doesn't make sense why we couldn't do that the first game. I get it. First game, maybe it's a fluke. We're at their home. So I was like, you know what? Game two, the Bills. I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting us to win. I wasn't expecting a huge showout because that's a playoff team. That's going to be a difficult team. That team has been against harder matchups. So obviously I was expecting us to not do well in that one. Week 3, though, this week that just passed, the Steelers, was a show me that we can do it game, and we could not do it offensively. I give a lot of shit to the offense because we paid a lot of money for the offense. We paid big contracts for people to be here. Devontae Adams, superstar, the amazing receiver that God bless his heart. Any team he goes to, it seems like we're close every time he goes there to a team like Green Bay. He didn't win the Super Bowl, and it's unfortunate because he's such a great receiver. And I don't know. I feel like I'm just upset because we have so much talent, and not only that, we paid so much money, but a lot of the players that we paid are getting old. Like Devontae Adams is old. I love him to death, and I feel like he deserves a Super Bowl win. And unfortunately, I don't think that's happening anytime soon in our team, considering how poorly our defense is. I seen the Steelers game, and I'm like, this is a game that's going to tell me how bad we are. And for the Steelers who haven't done at all anything remotely offensively, they did fucking great against our fucking defense. And granted, our defense, like I said, I have low expectation. However, damn, they barely scored. And they were putting up points like it was, like they were so good. I'm like thinking to myself, this is embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing because you have, and not only that, we couldn't even put points back. Granted, like I said, it's difficult. Every Sunday is a different game. Anybody can do really good and do poorly the next. However, the fact that we couldn't I think our offense is 100% better than the Steelers. I would not ever say that we're not better than the Steelers, but the fact that we couldn't do that shows to me, I'm like, what is going on? You know, we have the same offensive line. We did it before. You know, don't think Jimmy is that terrible. I know he is a downgrade from our previous quarterback. I expected that. However, I expected McDaniels to utilize all these players because they fit his scheme, okay? They fit his scheme, and this should be an easy transition. So what is going on? Coaching, I think, makes a big difference. I've had multiple people tell me on Twitter, oh no, give him time, you know, he's going to prove that, you know, whatever the case be, you know, our offense is going to show out. It hasn't. It's 3 weeks, and we have not done anything out of the extraordinary to prove to me that this offense, how much we put money into it, is worth the money that we put into it. We've had people tell me teams that, you know, oh, like the Chiefs can do it. They have no really good defense, so we don't really need a great defense. We just need a really good offense. This quarterback is holding us back, and it's like, now that we have this quarterback that supposedly is going to take us to playoffs and blah, 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 he's a winner, what's going on? Because the math ain't mathing at this point. We could have just stayed with Stidham. Stidham knew the actual play calling scheme. He was already familiar with McDaniels' playbook, and why wouldn't we give him an offer? Clearly, he didn't want to be backup. Stidham wanted to be starting, and granted, he's probably equal to Jimmy. Maybe a little bit worse, but still probably equal at this point. And you can't prove me otherwise. I don't care if he's a backup for somebody else. He did that purposely because he wanted to prove. I don't care. If I have to sit on the bench, I'll sit on the bench. But you're not going to have me sit behind Jimmy. He probably thinks he's better than Jimmy. And granted, I think they should have let it duke out. I'm even more mad because we have someone like Aiden O'Connell who showed out in the preseason. I'm like, you know, whatever the case be, people want to make excuses. Oh, it's preseason, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well then give him a chance. Go let him do it down. Yes, he's probably not going to do great as he was in preseason, but we don't know that. I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, you know, he's a rookie, let him learn the scheme. For what though? What is our goal? Is our goal to do playoffs? What is our goal if we just let Aiden O'Connell sit on the bench? Is it to lose and then get another quarterback? It doesn't make sense for me to have Aiden O'Connell sit on the bench, and if we lose a lot of games, we'll make us in the top 5 pick, then we're putting in the option to get another quarterback when we have a quarterback who has been sitting on the bench and has a lot of potential and we haven't seen. So I want to know what we have on our bench. At this point, Jimmy is not the answer, and he's proven himself that it's not the answer. I already knew this going into getting Jimmy, that he was going to be a downgrade from our previous quarterback, and that's fine. However, offensively, we have so many talent that there's no excuse that we're not putting up points. So something's got to change. AOC needs to start, whatever the case be, just even for a quarter. I don't even care if it's just 5 minutes. Show that at least you're attempting to do something different, because this is not the answer. Clearly, Jimmy is not getting this. Either he's not comfortable or he's not ready. I don't know what the answer is, but offensively, something needs to change, because defense is not going to change overnight. That is too many holes. So the one thing that we're missing on offense as a quarterback, try someone different. Please. And if Hoyer, I'm just frustrated, because what's the point of preseason? In my opinion, preseason, and it should be, and it's not even in my opinion, that's how it works typically. Preseason is to prove your part, you deserve to be part A on the roster, B, that you're fighting for your position. So if you're the quarterback trying to be a backup or even starting, you're going to show out in the preseason. So the fact that they're going to even go with possible Hoyer, oh, they fucking want to just piss me off, because it's like, then what was the point of preseason? Because we already seen in preseason, Hoyer was not even anywhere remotely close, even better than Aiden O'Connell. So what is the point of having Aiden O'Connell? Why did you draft him if you were just going to have him sit on the bench? I'm just literally frustrated, and I'm hoping somebody in the reporter scene is going to ask questions why they're not going with Aiden O'Connell. What is the point? Why are you going to having him on the bench if later on, if we're going to be in the top five picks, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think you're going to trade up Aiden O'Connell to get a higher pick? No one's going to do that. Yes, they've seen him, he has talent. But if you're not going to put him out there to show, hey, he's worth trading for at a higher pick value, he's showed that he can play in the NFL, take him. It doesn't make sense from a general manager standpoint, from a head coach standpoint, from a person who literally is managing Mark Davis, needs to understand that if you want somebody to be worth, you got to prove that they're worth it. Like right now, RENFROW, no one's going to want RENFROW with the contract that he has He's been having a low performance season, and it's not anything to RENFROW because RENFROW is an amazing player. It's just we're not utilizing him. So I'm very frustrated. We put a lot of money. Granted, Josh Jacobs is not doing as great as he should, but at the same time, it literally was last season Josh Jacobs. Whether a lot of people see that or not, it was. I knew this was going to happen. This is why I wanted to trade Josh Jacobs, because I knew that offensively for the first half of the season, last season, what I noticed is that McDaniels forced the ball more than he actually tried to run the ball. And then when it didn't work towards the middle of the season, he just went to the run and realized, hey, this is going to work. Let's keep with it. And I'm like frustrated because I think a lot of the decisions that McDaniels makes is based on pride versus what actually is good for the team. So I don't know. We'll see. Going into this Chargers game, I have expectations to keep up with the Chargers offensively. But at the same time, like I said, the offensive has been subpar. I think the Steelers defense is slightly better than the Chargers. So if we cannot put up points this week, put up points. I don't care if they put up points. We just need to put up points too because, our defense is, like I said, multiple holes. Mad Max can't do it all by himself. So there's not much we can do on that point. So let's see. I don't know. I'm thinking that this week against the Chargers, it's going to be a very close score offensively. Defense, is not going to be a really great highlight. So it's going to be a shootout, which if it's not a shootout, I'm going to be pissed because, like I said, we paid a lot of money for this offense, and it needs to show that it's worth the money that we put into it. Granted, right now, Josh Jacobs is not going to look like he's going to get this big contract like he was because he's not performing. We'll see. If he doesn't have a big game, it's going to be tough. A lot of people want him benched, but I don't think Zeus is going to be the answer because Zeus has not done well, even in preseason. So what makes you think that he's going to be great and actually going against starters? So this is, like I said, a lot of holes. I don't think the running back is the reason we're not winning. I think the quarterback is the reason. So if they don't make a change this week, it's going to be difficult to see where we're at and what holes we need to be when draft comes. If, we're on the top 5 pick, which I have a feeling if we're progressing this way, it will happen. And we'll see. I mean, I really hope Aiden O'Connell starts because I like to see his talent. I think he's great. He seems very calm and poised. Granted, he has not been rocked. And once you get rocked, players tend to change the way. So let's see. I hope you guys like my shirt and subscribe, share, and have a good day. Bye.